just so happy that the girls that came out who did, it was a great moment to have them participate, just in case if anything were to happen, if they were attacked from behind, like a bear hug or a headlock. No matter what, if they did not memorize the techniques, just learn something, like, oh, I'm going to break this person in the face, or I'm going to back fist them. Just certain things to where if someone's coming at you, you can protect yourself.
One of the things that's most important is to empower women so that they don't feel afraid, so that they take ownership for their own bodies, and they act in responsible ways, but also so that they're educated about what are the danger signs to look for in relationships and what to do if you find yourself in a relationship that has become violent, how to get help, where to go if you've been raped, sexually assaulted. And certainly self-defense falls into that category of preparing yourself, empowering yourself.
Turnaround, which is Baltimore's domestic violence and sexual assault agency, is sending representatives to talk about their agency. They're also going to try and send survivors to tell their stories. We'll have an open mic for anyone who wants to get up, read a poem, sing a song, tell their story. We're going to have luminaries outside around the Peace Pole in front of Doyle, where people can buy a luminary for $1, and all the money will go to Turnaround in honor of survivors, and then we will walk through campus.
Take Back the Night is an event that Towson holds where victims of sexual abuse and sexual violence have the opportunity to redefine a painful time for them, which the night is associated with sexual violence and sexual assault. So it's a time for them to redefine that space and what it means to them. What it means to me, I'm very grateful that I get to be with friends and not friends who are survivors, and it's a very powerful moment, and it empowers me to be there knowing that my campus is full of people that are so strong that they can tell their stories and continue and be strong and powerful. My favorite part of Take Back the Night would have to be the march around campus, just marching around the campus and being loud and feeling empowered myself, being a part of the march, and feeling empowered by everyone around me. Also seeing students who weren't a part of the march, whether they were at practice or just in their dorm rooms, coming to their windows, showing support and chanting with us. It was really great, and it made me feel like I was a part of something that was really positive.
I had a great time watching everybody tell their stories that caused me to remember my own time with sexual abuse. And it was just really empowering, and it motivated me to talk about it more. My favorite part at Take Back the Night was the march. I enjoyed walking and screaming out slurs and slogans that empowered women and made us feel strong, and getting everybody to pay attention. Even if they only read one sign, they still knew why we were out there.
I honestly don't think that enough is being done, because it's still happening.
I don't actually think that enough is being done to combat against the domestic violence, because there are a lot of reportings that aren't actually being reported. Like when the upper class, they are being abused, and they don't go to the police because they feel like it's going to ruin their reputation of their spouse, or it's going to ruin their own reputation, because if their spouse is at a high position, that they're not going to be, believed if they're being abused, and they won't take them serious. And also, when the cops do come out to when the cops actually come to the scene, then they're not really doing anything. They're just filling out an incident report, and then nothing's really being done to help the rest of when they get attacked again. And I talked about this in my marriage and family class just, I say like last week, and we discussed how anyone could be affected from domestic violence, but about 40%, I think it was, that isn't actually being reported.
Personally, I think there's not enough being done, especially legally. I think it's like a 5 to 10 year sentence for anybody offender who is accused, who is convicted of rape, and that is a little too lenient in my personal opinion, whereas other crimes have a much harsher sentence years-wise, and even then most convicts don't serve out their full sentence. They get on probation because of good behavior. So I don't think there's enough harshness to the actual accuser and the convicted. And then on the side of the victim, there's not really a lot that legally or even socially there's not enough to help the victim to help her get through what she's been through, both mentally, physically, and then legally. The victims are generally forgotten. They're just a nameless face, and they're left to their own devices to get through their experiences. So I think, no, there's not enough being done, and there really should be something that's legally and more social programming, just something that pushes for the victim.
Okay, my advice for a woman who was attacked would be to defend themselves. I know from a personal experience at my college, my freshman year, I was attacked by 5 guys, and I had to defend myself and punch one in the face. But I ran away and I made it, and I alerted the police and turned out okay, but it was still really scary, and I'm a little petite person, so I really couldn't defend myself as best as I could. I didn't have a weapon or anything like that. So my advice would be to just do the best you can and run and get help.
I think, in my opinion, it's totally not safe, of course, because I have a lot of experience in the United States as well, and also in my country. I'm from Korea, and we have really a lot of sexual crimes towards women and violence. Even in the morning when I was outside and I'm waiting for a bus at the bus stop, and then some guys came to me and then talked to me like, hey, you're pretty like this, and then I was so scared, even if it's really bright in the morning. And when I was walking in the night at the Inner Harbor, I mean in the downtown, it was totally unsafe. I felt unsafe because maybe it's because I'm Asian and then I'm a woman and I was alone, and a lot of people kept talking to me and then following me. It's totally scary. It was really scary. So I just took a cab and then came to a dorm immediately. So I don't really understand why the sexual crimes and violence is only for women, no matter what culture, no matter what society it is. So I feel not safe.
When I'm walking alone at night in any area, I don't feel like I'm very aware of my surroundings. I make sure I have keys outside with me, but I try not to walk alone because I know it's not safe for any woman to walk alone at night. Doesn't matter where I'm at, what situation I'm in. I always try to have someone with me.
Yeah, I would say that I feel safe within the Notre Dame community. If you ever, need an escort, security is just a phone call away. And I know when we did have a potential incident not too long ago, there was extra security. Someone stayed, by the library to make sure that we got back to our dorm safe.
and there's always like the buddy system, but I've never felt, not safe walking across campus.
As a woman, I do relatively feel safe walking alone at night. I am very aware of my surroundings when I'm walking, though. I do carry pepper spray just in case because we are in the city. But there are other colleges around us that help buffer crime on our campus, so it's not as bad as it could be.
I think society is still biased towards women, especially in domestic and sexual violence cases. Just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we had the Steubenville case where a teenage girl was raped by a bunch of her classmates, and while she is the victim, the media, society focuses on the fact that, one, the boys that raped her were athletes and how their dreams of becoming star athletes were crushed. And then two, the fact that, she, being underage, was drinking and was intoxicated. And so instead of blaming the boys who actually raped her, the society blames the victim. She should not have been drinking. She's asking for it. Maybe it was something she was wearing. Generally the victim is the one, asking for it. She shouldn't have been doing this. She shouldn't have been doing that. And they focus on the tragedy of the accuser's dreams being crushed because they have to go to jail for what they did. But they decided that they wanted to, rape this girl, and we see that a lot. And the victims really are the ones on trial, and the accused are really the victims in the way our society works. So women are very much still biased. They are harassed. They don't have much say in society, and they're the accusers, not the victims. So it's still a huge problem.